do an impression of.
Right.
And then one random song title. Okay? Whoever's turn.
From the outside, Hollywood looks like a glittering kingdom where talent rises, stars shine, and legends are born. But Jamie Foxx's story begins far from any spotlight. Before the Oscar, before the chart-topping music, before the fame that would one day make him one of the most versatile performers alive. He was simply Eric Marlon Bishop, a boy raised in a small Texas town, abandoned by his parents, and raised by grandparents who believed discipline was the only way to survive a harsh world. Yet somehow, that boy would grow into a man capable of doing what almost no one in Hollywood can: dominate comedy, drama, music, television, and film all at the same time. His journey is filled with contradictions. A comedian who became an Oscar-winning dramatic actor, a musician who broke into cinema, a superstar whose talent opened doors and whose personal storms nearly closed them forever. So the question is, how did a child with nothing rise to become one of the most unstoppable forces in modern entertainment? This is the extraordinary, unpredictable, and deeply human journey of Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx was born Eric Marlon Bishop on December 13, 1967, in the quiet town of Terrell, Texas. But his arrival into the world was anything but simple. His parents separated shortly after he was born, leaving him in the care of his maternal grandparents, Esther Marie and Mark Talley, too strict. Church-going elders who believed order and discipline were the pillars of survival. Growing up black in a small, racially divided Texas town shaped him in ways he would only understand years later. Jamie often described Terrell as a place where the football field was sacred, the church was mandatory, and the color of your skin determined how far others thought you could go inside his grandparents' house. The rules were firm: piano lessons every day, church choir every weekend, homework before anything else. But it was at that upright piano pushed against a wall of family pictures where Foxx discovered something powerful. Music wasn't just sound, it was escape. It was possibility. There were wounds too. The absence of his parents left marks that fame could never fully erase. And growing up under the pressures of segregation era, attitudes meant learning early that talent alone wasn't always enough. Yet, even as a child, one thing was clear: Jamie Foxx wasn't ordinary. He was waiting for a stage big enough to hold him. When Jamie Foxx left Texas for California, he carried nothing but a suitcase, a sharp sense of humor, and a belief, quiet but unshakable, that he was meant for something bigger. Los Angeles was brutal to newcomers, and Foxx quickly learned that talent alone didn't guarantee opportunity. He performed in tiny comedy clubs where half the audience wasn't listening, and the other half was waiting to boo. Then came a decision that would change his life. He adopted the stage name Jamie Foxx. The reason was surprisingly strategic. At open mic nights, female comedians were often called earlier in the lineup. By choosing a gender-neutral name, Jamie increased his odds of getting stage time. It worked. And once he had a microphone in his hand, he dominated the room. His razor-sharp impressions made him stand out immediately. Ray Charles, Bill Cosby, Prince, anyone, anything. He could mimic their voices, their mannerisms, even their rhythm. Word spread quickly. The real breakthrough came in 1991, when he joined the iconic sketch show in living color. Suddenly, millions saw what small clubs in LA already knew. Jamie Foxx was a natural performer with explosive comedic timing, but the show was only the beginning. Beneath the jokes and characters, there was a young artist hungry for more depth, more challenge, more than comedy alone could offer. Hollywood had noticed him. But Jamie Foxx was just getting started. By the early 2000s, Jamie Foxx had already proven he could make people laugh. But Hollywood was about to discover something far more powerful. He could make them feel. His transformation began with supporting roles in films like Ally and Any Given Sunday. where he surprised audiences with a depth and emotional gravity that went far beyond comedy. Each performance added another layer to his identity, no longer just a funny man, but a serious actor capable of intensity and nuance. Then came the moment that changed everything in 2004. Jamie Foxx stepped into the soul, the pain, and the genius of Ray Charles in the biographical masterpiece Ray. It was a role that demanded absolute surrender, months of blindfolded practice, hours at the piano studying Ray's movements, breathing patterns, his emotional rhythm. Foxx didn't just play Ray Charles. He became him. Hollywood had never seen a transformation so complete. The performance earned him the Academy Award for Best Actor, making him only the second actor in history to receive 2 Oscar nominations in the same year, because that very same year, he also received a Best Supporting Actor nomination for Collateral. It was a rare, career-defining double strike. And Foxx didn't stop there. His music career exploded with the album Unpredictable, which debuted at number 2 and then rose to number 1 on the Billboard 200. A feat few actor-turned musicians had ever achieved. Movie after movie cemented him as a powerhouse. Dreamgirls, Django Unchained, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Baby Driver, and more. He was no longer just a star. He had become something rarer, a one-man entertainment empire, equally dominant in music, comedy, drama, and blockbuster cinema. At this point, Jamie Foxx stood on top of the world. But fame that rises quickly often invites storms just as fast. For years, Jamie Foxx looked untouchable, a man who could glide between comedy stages, recording studios, and Hollywood sets with impossible ease. But even the brightest talents carry shadows behind the spotlight. His first wave of controversy came from the world that built him, comedy. Some of his early stand-up routines were accused of being too sharp, too aggressive, too unapologetic. In an era when jokes began facing public scrutiny, Foxx found himself at the center of debates about taste, boundaries, and responsibility. Then the tabloids turned their spotlight on him. Jamie was notoriously private about his romantic life, and the secrecy only fueled speculation. His long-rumored relationship with Katie Holmes became a carnival for paparazzi, whispered sightings, hidden entrances, leaked photos. When their relationship eventually ended, the press treated it less like heartbreak and more like entertainment. Professionally, he wasn't invincible either. Several projects failed to meet expectations. Films like Stealth and The Soloist stumbled at the box office, prompting headlines that questioned whether Foxx's peak had already passed. Critics accused him of inconsistency. Hollywood murmured about careers that rise too fast, but the darkest chapter arrived in 2023. Jamie Foxx was suddenly hospitalized with a mysterious medical emergency. No statements, no details, just silence. In the absence of facts, the internet filled the void with conspiracies, theories, and wild speculation. Some claimed he was near death. Others insisted Hollywood was hiding the truth. The man who always controlled his narrative was suddenly at the mercy of rumor. For the first time in decades, Jamie Foxx disappeared from public view, and Hollywood held its breath. When Jamie Foxx finally re-emerged after months of silence, the world saw a man who had walked dangerously close to the edge and returned with a quieter, sharper understanding of life. His recovery was slow, private, and deliberate. Gone were the days of constant appearances and endless interviews. Instead, Foxx chose intention over noise. He spoke openly about the experience that nearly took his life, revealing only enough for fans to know one truth. He had survived something far more serious than the headlines could ever capture. And survival changed him. His comeback wasn't built on spectacle, it was built on gratitude. A renewed focus on family, more selective roles, a deeper commitment to shaping stories rather than simply starring in them. Behind the scenes, Foxx poured energy into production work, supporting new artists, and guiding young Black performers trying to break into Hollywood. His philanthropic efforts expanded too, funding music programs and community initiatives that mirrored the same opportunities his grandparents once fought to give him, and then came the on-screen return, measured, powerful, controlled. A reminder to Hollywood, Jamie Foxx wasn't done. He had been reborn, not louder, but stronger. Jamie Foxx's legacy is not defined by one talent, it is defined by the impossible combination of all of them. Actor, comedian, singer, producer, impressionist, storyteller. Few artists in Hollywood history have mastered so many worlds, and even fewer have done it with the level of authenticity and emotional power that Foxx brings to every stage. His Oscar-winning performance in Ray remains one of the most transformative portrayals ever captured on film. His music shaped an era of R&B. His humor influenced a generation of comedians, and his resilience through career highs, personal storms, and a near-fatal medical crisis became proof that greatness is not about perfection, but about endurance. Today, fans don't just see Jamie Foxx as a star. They see him as a survivor, a man who carved a path from small-town Texas to global fame, relying on nothing but talent, discipline, and an iron will to rise again. The journey of Jamie Foxx is proof that extraordinary success is not given, it is built, tested, broken, and rebuilt through courage. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more cinematic Hollywood biographies.